Mark Zuckerberg has responded to whistleblower claims that Facebook puts profit over people. But as CNN's Donnie O'Sullivan reports, his response avoids addressing the most troubling parts of the whistleblower's revelations.
Left alone, Facebook will continue to make choices that go against the common good.
Mark Zuckerberg fights back after the blistering testimony of his former employee Frances Haugen, who alleges the social media giant is knowingly hurting its users and the country. The Facebook CEO posting a 1,300-word response claiming, "At the heart of these accusations is this idea that we prioritize profit over safety and well-being. That's just not true." A top senator investigating Facebook says Zuckerberg should do his explaining to Congress.
If he has disagreements with Frances Haugen or the whistleblower, if he wants to explain these documents, thousands of them, his own research, his own reports that show how they are putting profits ahead of people and endangering children, he should come tell it to our committee and to the American people himself.
Facebook described Hogan as a low-level employee who worked for the company for less than 2 years, had no direct reports, and never attended a decision point meeting with C-level executives. That prompting a response from a former senior Facebook employee. "Well, I was there for over 6 years, had numerous direct reports, and led many decision meetings with C-level execs. And I find the perspective shared on the need for algorithmic regulation, research transparency, and independent oversight to be entirely valid for debate."
In the end, the buck stops with Mark. There is no one currently holding Mark accountable but himself.
Zuckerberg's response, a deflection. If we wanted to ignore research, why would we create an industry-leading research program to understand these important issues in the first place?
We are the most transparent company in the industry.
But the company has been cherry-picking what information it discloses. Just a few weeks ago, it released a report of the most popular links on its site during the second quarter of this year, touting itself as the most transparent platform on the internet. As for its first quarter report, turns out Facebook didn't release it because one of the top links between January and March of this year was an anti-vaccine article. Executives never shared that transparency report with the public because of concerns that would look bad for the company, according to the New York Times.
I do not believe Facebook, as currently structured, has the capability to stop vaccine misinformation.
Haugen is calling on the federal government to regulate her former employer. Facebook says it too wants regulation.
I think it's important, and our leadership in this company, including Mark Zuckerberg, have called for this regulation because we think these are important decisions that we shouldn't be deciding for ourselves.
Zuckerberg's main argument was that Haugen was taking Facebook's research on its impact on children out of context. He says she can't be trusted to properly portray the company's findings. We're halfway through the work week. Beth gives us a preview of a big game coming up right after the break.